As Andrew alluded to, Donald Trump spent much of today still trying to rewrite exactly what happened on January 6th, with his administration trying to turn Donald Trump and the rioters who came to the U.S. Capitol to try to violently overthrow our government and an election into the victims and somehow the heroes in the story. For their part, Democrats on Capitol Hill today held a hearing, not just to push back against that White House whitewashing, but to try to sound the alarms and warn Americans of the dangers we all still face from Donald Trump's attempted coup. Take a listen.
The political violence unleashed by Trump did not end on J 6. On his first day back in office last year, he pardoned nearly 1,600 of the rioters and insurrectionists, including hundreds who violated police officers, including several in this room. Those pardons were raw spoils shared indiscriminately without regard to their actual offenses. They were essentially a payoff to Trump's private militia, which is now ready to stand back and stand by again for future engagements. He installed actual participants in the attack in the Department of Justice itself. The new U.S. pardon attorney, Ed Martin, tweeted from the Capitol grounds on this day 5 years ago and described the mayhem as Mardi Gras in D.C. His senior counselor at the Department of Justice, Jared Wise, is another J6 defendant captured on body camera footage yelling, "Kill him," 5 different times as police were being attacked right next to him. These leaders at the Department of Justice today have never once regretted their participation in this nightmare. With election deniers and J6 conspiracists Pam Bondi and Kash Patel at the top of the DOJ, it's like the Joker and the Riddler and the Penguin have taken over Gotham City.
It is indeed. It's perfectly put. And I am so happy right now to bring into our coverage Democratic Congressman Jamie Raskin of Maryland. He's the ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee. He was the lead prosecutor in the second impeachment trial of Donald Trump. Tim Hafey is still here. Congressman, I feel like you left it all in the field there. It was an incredible hearing today. But just tell us your thoughts as Donald Trump is engaged in a really elaborate effort to rewrite the history of January 6th.
Well, the facts are a pretty resilient thing, Nicole, and the January 6th Select Committee report stands totally untouched by these people. They have not successfully refuted a single sentence in the report of the January 6th Select Committee. So really, our opponent here isn't Donald Trump. Everybody knows he's going to try and lie and propagandize and whitewash. Our opponent here is just the rush and confluence of different events, people's busy lives, and how difficult it is to get anybody to read anything. But the truth is that it's not just the report, it's the most video documented and most photographed crime in American history, the most spectacular political assault on the Capitol in American history. And so the story can be told, it must be told, it will be told. And we were very happy with how the hearing went today, and it obviously got on Donald Trump's nerves because, they threw up their new ridiculous Orwellian website, which is just a pack of lies at the White House.
Well, I mean, we know they know the truth because they released the Jack Smith testimony on New Year's Eve. I mean, you're right. There are so many tells that they know that the truth and the facts are no good for them. I wonder what you make of Jack Smith's presentation of the facts as he gathered them. In some ways parallel to your investigation, in some ways going beyond with a couple of witnesses that refused to cooperate with the congressional probe, but giving testimony that made clear he believed in his telling that he was ready to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Donald Trump committed crimes on January 6th.
Yeah, well, I left that closed door deposition of Jack Smith, and I said that Chairman Jordan's decision to do it behind closed doors was the best decision he ever made in his life because it was absolutely devastating for Donald Trump and for those who still want to try to pretend as if he wasn't guilty of these things. He was clearly guilty of these things. And what's gotten him off, of course, is not any kind of innocence. What's allowed him to escape Houdini-like is the Roberts Court and the fact that he's been able to manipulate the levers of power to keep himself going. I mean, if he put a fraction of that energy into trying to actually do something for the American people, we might be in a different position in America today. But the economy, the society are basically in ruins because of the guy. But he has been able to stay afloat, even as it's overwhelmingly clear that he engaged in an attempt to defraud the United States, disrupt this federal proceeding, and massively violate the voting rights of all Americans by stealing an election. He wasn't trying to stop election fraud. He was trying to commit election fraud for several months.